How's it going, Thieves fans? Today we're going to be talking about the previous matchup against the Florida Mutineers, as well as the upcoming matches against the Minnesota ROKKR and the London Royal Ravens. To start things off, the Thieves had a really rough showing against the Florida Mutineers last week, only being able to take one map, losing 3-1. The first map for the Thieves was actually the best showing that they had in a respawn throughout the entire match. The sub duo between Kenny and Envoy started off at a 1.04 KD. Unfortunately, both Octane and Drazah were both negative. Despite that, the Thieves went back and forth with Florida the entire map up until they lost the rotations from P1 to P2, where Florida was able to break in and take map control and allowed themselves to come back and end up winning the hardpoint by 8 points. The most concerning part about the loss on this map is that this was Hydro, which is arguably the Thieves' best hardpoint map, and it was against a team who has not been performing very well and is towards the bottom end of the CDL this year. So it's not a good look for the Thieves. Hopefully they can get some hard points figured out in these next upcoming matches. Going into the search and destroy, the Thieves were able to flip the script and take the search 6-4. Kenny had possibly his best search and destroy map of the major so far, going 10-6, along with Octane having a solid map, going 8-5. On the other side of things for Florida, Capital was the only player who was positive, going 9-8. Despite the Thieves being up 5-1 in round count, they actually made the map a little more scary than it needed to be, allowing Florida to take 3 rounds in a row before they were able to close out the map. Next up was the map 3 control, where the Thieves ended up losing it 3-0. Florida was able to take map control really early on, which forced Thieves to play off the back foot for the entire map, and that ultimately led to nobody on the Thieves being able to break positive. It really was just a poor performance from the Thieves, especially when you look at the fact that it was a Expo control, which is arguably the Thieves' best control map. Florida were able to continue their domination going into the map 4, where nobody on Thieves was able to break positive, purely because of the map pressure that Florida brought. Florida put them in even more spawn traps in this map, where the Thieves' teamwork really was not able to break them out of them. The Thieves' teamwork really just didn't look like it was there in the map 4, and it showed when you looked at the kill feed, seeing that nobody was really able to get any trades, and every single time the Thieves did get some sort of control, Florida was able to break it with ease. That ended up showing in the overall score for the map being 250 to 128. Moving on, we have the Thieves facing up against the Minnesota ROKKR this coming Friday. What's interesting about this matchup is that the Minnesota ROKKR actually just benched Afro in order to bring Attach into the starting lineup. With this roster move, that means that Fame is actually going to move back to a sub spot, which is something that he did before he was brought into the CDL, and Attach is going to go to the, I believe, main AR role. With both of these moves happening, it's really hard to determine how the Thieves are going to face up against a slightly new roster. With how recent this change was, there's no way to really see how they will match up against the Thieves, but my hope is that maybe Attach will start off a little slow, knowing that this is going to be his first match back in the CDL. Looking at ROKKR's last match, they ended up facing up against the Vegas Legion, where they ended up losing 3-2, but they were actually up 2-1 in the series. Based on how close their match was against Vegas, I think that this matchup for the Thieves is going to be a lot closer than it has been in the past. So I think the Thieves are going to come out with a 3-2 victory over ROKKR. I think the only reason the ROKKR are going to be able to take 1-2 maps is because of how the Thieves have been performing in this current stage. Last up, we have the Thieves facing off against the London Royal Ravens, and this one I don't feel like there's a lot to talk about, just because the Ravens have continued to prove that they are the worst team in the league, and not to be rude, but you know, they weren't even able to beat LAG. They ended up losing that series 3-1. The only upside that I've seen from the Ravens recently is that they did take a map against FaZe, who is still considered to be sort of an upper echelon team. But taking one map versus winning a series is really different. So I still see Thieves being able to take this series 3-0. And I think especially if they beat ROKKR, the Thieves are just going to have too much momentum that London will not be able to compete against them at all. With all that being said, the Thieves really need to win both of their matches this weekend in order to even have a chance to make the winner's bracket going into next weekend's tournament. That's going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, I hope you hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell so that way you guys get notified every time I post a new video. Also, if you guys would like to see more news on the LA Thieves, go ahead and check out the Thieves Talk Twitter page. I'll have that linked in the description down below, as well as my personal Twitter and the Thieves Talk Discord. That's going to do it for me. I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you guys.